Hello all, Xyceres here. So we're doing another base tour, this time it'll be Halethorpe. This is a brutal, large map. Um, I put a lot I put a lot of effort into this one to try and make it look pretty and be fairly entertaining, I think. It's quite dangerous, as we'll go through when we get to it, but it was me just like trying to create something that I think might be worthy of actually getting going into the POB entries, which I've done before. We've got a few different ones where I've done that. Iron Ridge is another example of a map that was built with a similar idea in mind, although it didn't really come together quite as well as this one did. Overall, it's got 50 raid attempts for 5.1 kill ratio. There has been a social raid since, which has lowered it down because you can't get kills in social raids. Well, the kills don't count in social raids, but the raids do. It's weird and it messes with your kill ratio. But for accolades, I got 15 fun, 8 brutal, 5 ingenious, and 15 artistic. I think because I got 5.1 kill ratio, a lot of people actually quit this base. Right, there was a lot of people that could not beat it. And because a lot of people can't beat it, you get less accolades. So I did get pretty low accolades here. We're talking like 43 versus 50, which is like zero point 0.8 ratio, which is really bad. But I think the level is pretty legit. Just in general, it's just hard, and like I don't even think it's like especially hard for me. But I also play this game a lot, and my value for hardness is quite high. It has to be quite difficult. I think that might have been the first time that I've had to use Phoenix pods, but I'm still recovering from COVID, so I can't be bothered getting a cleaner run. Anyway, let's go through the tour of Halethorpe. The first thing you'll notice is the giant exclamation mark warning message thing right as you enter. It's just most of this is underground or not super exciting. Like, this is not a particularly exciting building. Obviously put some effort into like decals lining the sides and whatnot. Got some like sciencey stuff here, doors, etc. But it doesn't look super exciting on the outside at all. And this doesn't really show up because there's too much bedrock here. But um, you can kind of see this in this drill mechanism that I've got here in the thumbnail. Just off to the side still. Like, I haven't actually blocked that with this because the thumbnail is something like that. And yeah, it does look real cool, but you'll notice that you can't really see much of the base otherwise. So that's kind of what this is all about. And it's not too hard to throw together something simple like this. Just to make the thumbnail nicer, which isn't as relevant anymore as it used to be. Because we don't really have a choice of what maps we play anymore. Trailblazer's just marking the tombs. There is one up the back there near the drill. One over here. There used to be an entrance. The entrance used to go like straight down here and then in to the main section. But as I got more capacity, I needed someone to use it, so I built an extra like tunnel section that you go through to start with. Not super long, doesn't take super long to do. But anyway, let's just go over the drill section here. So my idea for the map overall was to have a map where they've mined, because I had this really flat section here, a big cave. Like, you'll notice a lot of the top layer here is all bedrock. A big cave with a lot of like interesting shapes in it, and you'll notice that it's like fully sealed off. There's basically no way out of here, which meant that I just didn't have to put blocks to seal it off, besides this one big circle entrance here, which I turned into a portal. So I got like the big portal here, big portal there, two portals, and I was like, okay, maybe they've broken this somehow, and I put in this thing here, and I'm like, okay, that kind of looks right, but it needs the mining piece, which is what this is. And I deliberately chose not to put spontaneous on this because spontaneous on this would cause would shoot out the sides, which didn't look right. I needed it to go straight down, and I could have like inlaid it or something, and we could have done something to make it, because I think the spontaneous would have been cool as like a laser pointer, but we did not do that. That is not what happened, so this is what we've got. Yeah, so I got a couple of these shapes here where it's like sort of circular with like a sort of circular solid red metal, then a red metal glass block layer, and then solid corrosion cubes, and then a like entrance here. And you'll note that this doesn't have any mods on it. It used to have second wave, because this was supposed to be a second wave entrance, second wave exit eventually, but no one, the only people that noticed it early, and I'd rather someone actually get to make use of it. So I turned it into just a secret entrance, and It's actually been used a couple times, but most of the time it's real dangerous. Like, there's a very real possibility that the people that used it may have died less if they hadn't tried it. Because it looks super easy. Like you drop down here. There's only like a few of these guards that can see you. All this stuff back here is already passed, so it it'll. I think some of these it will turn around if you get too close or something. But most of the time you're just dealing with like this and these cards and these like four guards and whatnot. But you also very close to all of them, and you just aggro all of them when you drop down, and you generally die. And I think all four of the hornets can see you, and you can get spotted by at least that enforcer, maybe that one too. The enforcers are all like sniper enforcers, so they'll see you basically. If they catch you in their line of sight, they're going to be able to take a shot. And yeah, it's just way too dangerous. So let's go to the front with the intended way to play. And yeah, so I've not seen anyone manage that in any reasonable number of deaths. Um, so I've just kind of left it. And I think it's fine. I think it's more interesting for it to be a secret entrance than it was to be just an exit. And it's kind of fun to play around with. So when I started building the second section, it's like first section, the parts that you enter first, I had I knew I already had an issue once you get to the second half with dual gun. So I'm trying to disincentivize you from playing dual gun first, and I also don't want to put any guards in this first section because in my mind the arena at the end is in another dimension. The guards represent the denizens of that other dimension. They shouldn't be in our world because they're contained in this facility. So the traps here are to keep them contained, not to actually keep you out. But I did still build it. I still built the traps as if you were going to be coming from this direction, but the just because I wanted the level to be functional. But that was the idea, like lore-wise. So I was thinking, no guards in the earlier section. I didn't have that much guards capacity left. If I go over to here and click on here, I've got 16 guards and they're all in that arena at the end. That's quite a lot of guards, so I didn't really have a lot of I could have done with it. And I think I've used all my guard types. No, I haven't used all my guard types. I've used all my trap types. Speaking of using all the trap types, there was actually not that many. I had already used most of them before, just in the arena. So the only one that isn't in the arena that I have used, I believe, is the Plasma Sentinel in front of us here. I needed something that could fire in any direction because it's kind of necessary, unless you want to do a full 1x1 corridor, and that's just not fun. So I grabbed Plasma Sentinels out of all the ones that were left just to finish off the bases. Got some doors. I've used the lab and this danger icon from the cosmetic pack. Yeah, so lab decals, because we want this to look like was a research facility. The yellow is all around and it's on the outside as well. It's supposed to be, that's like corrosion, I think, from, you know, being in the decayed Hope area. This metal is corroding, but also it gets thicker as you get closer to the portal most of the time. So we start with something fairly simple. This here is a double shrimp camo. Camo full force? Yeah, camo full force. What this normally does, most people it catches, they go one, two, and then they hit here. They can jump out of it if they can work that out quick enough, but that triggers the bombs, which is another threat, which means they might die to that. You can also like shield once you're in here and like walk out if you're quick enough. But obviously, if you get hit by that, you get a little bit. It's a little bit disorientating to be hit by a launch pad and just be thrown suddenly. So you generally just die if you get hit by it. They'll generally end up here and just die. Similar idea here with this launch pad, though this one is not full force. It is camo and unrelenting. It can trigger more than once. But it sends you up here, bounces you off here, and puts you down here. These ones don't have any solid ones for you to bounce off of, because the bombs need the non-solids to travel properly. And this whole section here is mostly just designed as like pseudo bomb splitters. These bombs go everywhere. They don't generally reach here. You're generally safe if you can get this close to here, but you've got 4 threats. 5 threats, I guess, if you want to count that one. That you kind of need to deal with to get to here. So you can do it, it's just it's a lot. And I did it in the gameplay, so like yeah, you can definitely do it. 2 plasma sentinels, I think they're both just they needed Eagle Eye because it wasn't quite getting far enough, but with Eagle Eye they just barely reached the door. So yeah, Eagle Eye, Plasma Cloud. Oh, is that why that keeps playing up? Oh, I forgot to put Dragon's Breath on it. Ah, oh, I'm trying to work out why that one wasn't firing. Ah, oh, that's so silly. Good thing I left a little bit of extra capacity. Yeah, they really need Dragon's Breath because Dragon's Breath gets you here, and I want them to turn on at the same point as the bombs. Because I want you to want to back up when the bombs go off, but the bombs will send bombs this way, that way. You actually have to go quite far back and like jump up to here most of the time to survive against the bombs, which is why I decided in the gameplay to jump forward. This here is not as exciting. I started running out of capacity once I'd done all this. It doesn't help that there's a lot of corrosion cubes. And a lot of these corrosion cubes, you'll note the ones that have access to the path or have spontaneous, just to make this area a little bit more dangerous. We have a... This one's really hard to see because it's sitting on bedrock, I believe. So camo and full force, and because it's on bedrock, the on this particular Decayed Hope outpost style, it's real hard to see. And that gets you, that just sends you up here and kills you if you land on it. You happen to be on it, which most people don't. Doesn't, I don't think, I don't even know if it's caught anyone. Let's have a look. T... No. No, it's always the Plasma Sentinel. This Plasma Sentinel does a lot of work. This is just like an extra threat once you come around the corner. Sometimes you trigger the bombs. That's more of a co-op partner thing. These bombs are more for co-op partners. Because they'll just kind of be like around here after someone runs through here, and they won't really reach into here. And this is just to stop people completely skipping the area because they have basically no speedrun traps in this space. So Burning Piston and Pulverize. nice simple thing. You have to deal with it. Having to deal with both it and the Plasma Sentinel before it can be a bit of a problem, and that can lead to some danger. And now we start seeing the yellow corrosion stuff just being everywhere. It's just huge areas of it everywhere because we're starting to get closer. We didn't see these in the actual gameplay, but there's a couple second wave bomb traps here and here. They don't really do a lot, and they were added fairly late. But it's just to cover people exiting the regular way, which most people do. This here is a camo full force launchpad. What it does, it pushes you to like here. You can get a little bit further if the person happened to be jumping, and it can get to like here, which is real dangerous because they often trigger the bomb trap in that case. But the main thing is pushing them from back here where they're relatively safe into here where they've now aggroed at least that guy, that like sniper enforcer at the top there. But also, if they did happen to go further forward, they can trigger the bomb trap or the bolt shot, which is not great. And we get a decent number of people with this just going too far forward and then getting killed by one of these two. Right, let's bring it up. What of these would be? Oh, defense deleted. I wonder what that was. Enforcer, defense deleted. Enforcer, bomb ejector. You'll notice once you get to about here, the enforcer starts dropping off, and like back here, it's defense deleted. I wonder what that was. It's something I've probably deleted and re-added because I don't think there's that much that I've changed. But yeah, lots and lots of danger the moment you enter this room. Which makes it really hard for people to actually evaluate what's going on in this room, which is good, because there's a really simple solution to this room, which is jump down. The moment you are on the ground here, there is very little threat, which is what a lot of dual gun users end up doing, and then they just take out all the guards, one by one, slowly, from the ground. And that works pretty well. But I can obfuscate that quite a bit by just having so much threat as you enter. And I wanted to have this big open area because you'll notice that, yeah, so we're in the other dimension of the map at the moment. And so I've put a bunch of these Halloween glowing eye decals around. Because, like, you can't really see the mouth that well on the bedrock, and I flipped some of them upside down as well so that the eyes are not always at a consistent height. So it just kind of looks like the walls have eyes that are like staring at you no matter where you are. Which I think is a really cool effect and helps sell this is another dimension thing, besides the fact that you just walked through a portal. Although I'm a little sad with how the portal ended up. I think, yeah, like you can see it if you're paying attention. Like you can see the solid acid through the wall here. See that it's like a ring, but it kind of just looks like someone built a map and was trying to and just put acid to make it drip on you just before you enter, which is not actually what it was intended for. Although I did give that one there spontaneous for that purpose, because that can hit here, or here, or potentially back here, which is not useful. But, like, it's pulling double duty for very few points. If we go to the outside, though, let's go up through the secret exit. I think it looks a little bit more obvious what we're dealing with when you can see it from this side. Which very few people do, although one person did, and they died. They grappled right onto this and then just was looking through it and died to it. It was really silly. Anyway, we come back in here. We've still got the lab decals going on. And you'll notice that I've mostly been using this concrete, but I occasionally swap to this like decayed concrete. And that happens just all throughout wherever there's concrete. And as you get further out, the decayed concrete becomes less and less common until it eventually stops. As for the in here, we have, I think, 2 Ravagers? No, 1 Ravager. We got a Ravager here, a Ravager here, 2 Ravagers up the back, 1 there and 1 there. We have an Enforcer here, an Enforcer here, an Enforcer here, and an Enforcer here. Yep. So these ones, I believe, are optical implants and fire rate. These ones here are, that one's armor and fire rate. This one, I believe, is optical fire rate. And this one is optical and fire rate. Technically, this means that they're all synced, but they're also far enough apart from one another, they're probably not gonna see you all at the same time. They are doing like little spinning guard paths. So they'll kind of just look around and shoot when they can. And a lot of them have pretty good ranges, so that's very good for enforcers. And just puts a lot of threat over the large room that we're in with very little capacity. The Ravagers are a little bit better, a little bit different. This one's got combat ready and fire rate because this one is an ambush one. I'm trying to get it to fire as soon as possible. It's had some success because there are some of these ones here that were killed by the Ravager. Where are you? We saw it before. Where is it? I don't know where the Ravager one that I saw before was. Anyway, I think this guy's on a similar thing. No, short leash and fire rate. He's just supposed to be standing in the, like, roughly center here and not being pulled too far back. The Warmongers here, 2 of them have movement speed and armor. Movement speed, attack speed. Movement speed. Movement speed and armor. Those ones will charge forward and go down here and catch up to you faster than you would expect because of their movement speed augment. And the short leash ones have a guard path that goes like all around here and then back where it started, which putting short leash on them means that they stop here because the closest they can get on their guard path is 1.5 blocks away, which is here. So they get to like here and they just stand here and block this, which makes it really hard to enter if you don't enter quickly. There are 2 more launch pads, one here with camo and full force, and one up here that I think has nothing on it. This should launch you up into here, but because of you have some directional influence, it often doesn't. But if you mess that up, you end up here, and that sends you straight back down, and generally one of these warmongers or the Ravager here will kill you when that happens. The Hornets are all designed to just try and slow you down as you move around the arena. They're all got the slowing augments. That one's got armor. I don't know if they all have armor. I don't think they do. That one's got armor. That one's got fire rates. Yeah. So the front ones have armor. Makes sense. They're closer, so they're more likely to take a hit. And the back ones have fire rate, so that they can put out more bubbles. Because you're less likely to want to prioritize them when aiming. And on the walls, we have a bolt shot here, a bolt shot here. They don't line up. Right, if I put them here, here. Always Hunter. They gotta have Hunter when you're doing something that's this open. And there's ones on the wall back here. 1, 2, and 3. This one here, you'll note, goes over the top. And just one incinerator as well. So these all have Hunter still as well. It's just basically you come around the corner, trigger that, try and get out of the way. You can only get so far. And you can die to that. And there's a lot of people that did. The bolt shots were pretty effective. This like cross section of def pistons is just because I needed to have 2 def pistons to stop you from just running in and grabbing the genmat. If it was a speedrunner, I needed the pressure from the room to actually crush them, which it did a lot of the time. But to do that, I need something that will stop them at the end, so that they can't just like throw down a bubble. You can just like throw down 2 bubbles. That's fine. I've seen that, but you got to commit to that, and your first bubble will probably be like here-ish on the actual outside, as opposed to actually on the genmat itself. And the incinerator's kind of just chilling, doing something similar as well. It's just here to cover genmat and provide some danger. I think that's everything. And here's the last tomb. Happen to generate in the room. This structure here, why bother using opaque cubes when I could just put, solid cubes? And it just all came down to the fact that I liked the way they looked. It makes this whole section more glowy. And I really like that. And yeah, so we got the genmat here, and once you grab the genmat, you can leave out the top, or you can go past the 2 bombs that we've already talked about. So quite a lot going on. I quite enjoy it. I quite like the aesthetic with the this like eyes watching you in this other dimension with the portals, with the 2 portals that you can go in and out of. I think that's just a very interesting idea that I haven't really seen too much of. I know there's like a lot of like Hell outposts, but I haven't actually seen Portal to Hell stuff that much. Though I was watching a video on someone who did a like second wave Portal to Hell, where it was something similar to this, but the cube in the middle was a second wave, and like a bunch of guards came out of it once you got the genmat. Obviously, I didn't steal that whole idea, I just stole part of it. And I just really like how it looks. I think it's a really cool thing. And I haven't made a hell dimension before, so that's what we did. We made a hell dimension map. And it's only fitting that it's actually reasonably difficult. Anyway, that's it for me for today, and this will be on social for the foreseeable future. But, I'll see you next time, which will probably be on the weekend when I'm hoping I might be able to stream some of the POB contenders. We'll see how that goes.